I just bought a super cheap tablet from Temu that comes with a keyboard, a mouse and a ton of other accessories. But the real question is, are they any good? First off, let's talk about the unboxing, because honestly, I was a bit surprised. For $60, the packaging actually feels very premium. The box itself looks good, just looking all around, it's actually well packaged, unlike a lot of other Temu products. Opening up the box, you're presented with quite a spread. First you've got the tablet itself, which is an 11-inch slab running Android 14. A power brick, a USB Type-C cable, an optical mouse, a plastic stylus pen with this rubber tip, a Bluetooth keyboard, a screen protector, and a foldable case that doubles as a stand. So you can see there's quite a few things included just to add weight to the overall package. So altogether you look at this bundle and think, wow, Temu is giving you all this for the price of a budget smartwatch. But that all depends on the tablet itself. If the tablet's any good, then everything else kind of just falls into place. But if the tablet isn't good, there's not much you can do with the rest of the stuff. So picking up the tablet, the first thing you notice is this is not a slim device. It's chunky, it's heavy, and you will feel it after a while, especially if it's bundled with this case. It has all the basic ports, so you've got a USB Type-C, an SD card slot, even a headphone jack, which is rare to see nowadays, the volume buttons as well as a power button, and just at the bottom here you have the speakers. Looking at the display in the front, you can see right at the top it has a front-facing camera. You can also see a rear-facing camera at the back here. The screen itself, you can see it has massive bezels, and it's not the brightest or the crispest display you'll see. The build is entirely plastic, which is expected at this price point, but to its credit, the buttons are clicky enough, the ports are aligned properly, and it doesn't creak or anything when you're using it, so that's a plus there. But compared to something like a Fire HD tablet or even a used iPad, you can immediately tell this sits in the budget category. Now the display is where the budget becomes really noticeable. You're looking at an 11-inch LED panel that has a resolution of 1280 by 800 pixels, which is HD but not full HD by modern standards. Text looks sharp enough, but it's the brightness that really lets you down. You can read articles without much struggle or difficulty, but watching YouTube or Netflix, it'll only be fine if you're not a picky customer, which in today's generation, who isn't? You can see a video like this just feels washed out even when there's no sunlight, and then you can imagine what it does in direct sunlight. It's basically unwatchable, which limits the usage of the tablet. You'll either have to use it at night or in dim settings, which is not the best. As mentioned, colours also feel a bit washed out and viewing angles are limited. You even tilt this slightly and the picture will lose clarity very fast. That said, if all you want is something to stream a show on the couch or scroll TikTok before bed, it gets the job done, but it's not cinema quality. Now on paper, the specs for this look really good for a budget tablet. You've got a Rockchip CPU, a Mali G57 GPU, a 12GB RAM, which is 6GB and 6GB expanded, and 256GB of storage with support for up to 1TB thanks to this SD card slot. Now that sounds like a powerhouse, no? But specs on Temu always need an asterisk. It's the same argument we often have with brands like Apple that don't necessarily use the best hardware, but their optimization is bang on. And in this case, it's the opposite. They claim to use great hardware, but it's still absolute crap because it's not optimized. So in reality, performance is slow, although it's still functional. Now YouTube works even up to 1080p, but something small like scrolling through comments while a video plays can cause hiccups, which really shows the limitation of this tablet. Social media apps like Instagram and TikTok load, but the experience isn't buttery smooth. You'll notice drop frames and pauses when things get busy. And it's the same with gaming. Simple stuff like Riders World and Score Hero run fine. But when the screen fills with animations, you can start to see the lagging show up. Trying something like Metal Storm or an extreme driving simulator, you can see the tablet immediately just wave the white flag. Basically it works for casual use, so reading, browsing, light gaming, but if it gets anything heavier like multitasking or intensive apps, it'll definitely struggle. Now, also quickly want to mention this keyboard, which as you can see is super slim. Just compare that to the tablet and you can see it's like half the size. It's got all kind of keys in there, so you can use this for Macs as well as Windows. Obviously with this one it's the Android tablet, but this is a Bluetooth keyboard, so it can be used with other devices. Up top here you have the on and off button and then a connect button, so once you turn it on and press that connect, it'll start being discovered. And it's very simple to connect to your device simply by going to the Bluetooth settings and finding the keyboard. You can see 4 LEDs here, so one's for the caps lock, one's for the Bluetooth, one's for when it's charging, and then the last one for when it's powered on. The back is just metal, and then the front you've got all kinds of keys as well as a command key. So like I mentioned, this can be used with Mac or iOS devices. And this keyboard actually works really well with the tablet. So you can see these keys have good feedback. It's not something you'd expect to be included in a budget bundle. This on its own is actually worth around $30. And then similarly with the mouse, it's the same thing. It is a bit plasticky, so you can just kind of hear creaks when you just press it. But in terms of functionality, it works with the tablet, although you can see a clear lag. And then the initial connection is almost always delayed. So when you first connect this, you'll see you try to move the mouse and the cursor will be stuck on screen. And after about 10-15 seconds, you'll start to see the cursor start moving around. It has the right and left button as well as a scrolling wheel. And then as an additional plus, it also has the DPI button. So you have 3 modes where you can change the cursor speed. You can go from slow to faster and fastest. Underneath, you can see it has the on and off button here. And then if you remove this cover, you can see it takes 2 AAA batteries to work. Now let's talk about the speakers. They are quiet, they're tinny, and they are pretty much flat. If you're in a silent room, you'll hear your video just fine, but the moment there's background noise, you'll definitely be reaching for the headphones, or at least you should be. As for the cameras, you're looking at an 8 megapixel rear camera and a 5 megapixel front. Neither is impressive, but the rear is clearly better of the two. In good lighting, they're passable for video calls, but in low light, you'd basically be looking at blurry watercolor painting. So don't buy these expecting to capture great photo. Now in terms of charging, the tablet runs on a lithium polymer battery that charges over USB Type-C. And battery life is okay. You're getting a few hours of mixed use, maybe 5 to 6 if you're mostly just streaming video. But heavy browsing or gaming will naturally drain it faster. And charging isn't the fastest either. You're looking at a couple of hours to go from empty to full, so overnight charging is really the best way to go. On the bright side, Wi-Fi 5 connection is stable, so browsing or streaming or downloading stuff will all work just fine. Now here's the big question: who actually benefits from this bundle? If you're a power user, someone who just wants smooth multitasking, crisp visuals or gaming, this is obviously not for you. The tablet is heavy, laggy and not bright, so all those things immediately eliminate this from being a contender. But there is a niche. This makes sense for kids who want a cheap, and if they break it, it won't feel like a heartbreak. It could also be used as a backup tablet for travel, where you don't want to risk your expensive iPad. Or it could be for someone who just needs the basics: browsing, email, social media in small doses. So in a nutshell, if your expectations are grounded, this is a functional, low-cost device that'll work for you. So, is the $60 Temu product worth it? Surprisingly, I would say yes, but that's with the biggest asterisk possible. You're not getting a sleek, powerful premium tablet. What you're getting is just a chunky, laggy, quiet device that just does enough to scrape by. But at the same time, you're also getting a keyboard, a mouse, a case, and a stylus. And that makes the whole thing just feel more complete. So at $60, it's far from perfect, but it still works. And sometimes that's enough. That's all for now. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you want to see more videos like this, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya!